Hello Gemini, and welcome to your new November insight video. And this month we're going to do things slightly differently. Instead of talking you through all of the cycles and rhythms of the lunar energies like I usually do in these videos, I am going to focus on the shifts of Jupiter into Sagittarius and the shifts of the nodes into the Cancer Capricorn axis, as these energies are going to be with us for the next 13 and 18 month cycles. So these videos give you more of a long-term overview of how these powerful shifts will be affecting your sign over the coming, like I say, 13 and 18 month periods. So you can reflect back on them as the energies unfold if you choose to do so. So we're going to look at, first of all, Jupiter moving into Sagittarius. So Jupiter is coming home. He's coming back to his own temple, the temple of Sagittarius. And this is a beautiful shift for all of us collectively, because we have been swimming through those deep scorpionic waters since last October. And for you, Gemini, Jupiter has been moving through your 6th house of purification, which can be quite an intense transit, particularly in Scorpio, particularly with Jupiter, as you will have been asked to detoxify yourself on every level, you know, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Perhaps you have had to make a lot of changes in your day-to-day routines, in your work life, in the way that you organize and structure yourself. It's quite a heavy energy, because the 6th house always strives for perfection, for purity, for orderliness on all levels. And Jupiter is an expansive energy. Scorpio is a revealing energy, so we're kind of having all of those areas where we're not doing those things revealed to us. And for yourself, as a more flexible sign, it could perhaps have been a bit challenging. You know, maybe there has been health issues or issues with your work or your service work that have been causing you to need to make changes in your life. Or, you know, perhaps some of you have really stepped into your service roles as well. The 6th house is also about service. It can be the house of Virgo, the house of the priestess. So perhaps you've been really pulled towards those energies as well. Maybe you've been learning something new about holistics, about therapies, about healing in some way as well. So there will always be a positive aspect to Jupiter transits as well. But for all of us, there is a big relief as he comes into Sagittarius, and instead of all of this inner work, all of this trauma that has been resurfacing, now we are, you know, in the furnace of inspiration. We are in the fires of truth, of rebirth, you know, like the phoenix. We are collectively reborn. And Jupiter will be heading into your 7th house, because of course Sagittarius is your opposite sign. So this can be a very interesting period, Gemini, as you will have for the next 13 months until December 2019. You're going to have Jupiter in your house of partnership. So traditionally, this is a beautiful transit. You know, we can attract people, we can attract lovers, we can attract business partners, we can attract helpful people that bring us opportunities. We can, you know, generally be more magnetic, more expansive, more generous, more buoyant, more filled with faith in our dealings with other people. But for you, as it's in the 7th house, this is where you start to learn the balance between self and other, Gemini. So for yourself, as a sign that values freedom and values change, and, you know, quite often we're flitting from place to place and person to person, this energy can really expand how your behavior can impact your relationships. And Sagittarius is the sign of truth. It's the sign of integrity. So we can also be looking at how in alignment with our truth our relationships really are. You know, are you truly being your authentic self in your connections with other people? Are your relationships really serving your needs for, and you know, your hunger for spiritual growth as well? You know, are you being mentally stimulated enough by your connection? So Jupiter expands whatever he touches, whichever area he moves through, he inflates it because he's the gas giant, he's humongous. So when he's in this part of your birth chart, you will find yourself expanding. You know, you will find your desires for relationships inflating. You will find that people, like I say, and opportunities are drawn to you. So somebody knocked my door just then. The knock of opportunity for you, Gemini. So all of these opportunities and, you know, opportunities to collaborate and connect can be flowing towards you at this time. And it's your, you know, you have to trust your inner guidance and choose which ones are the right ones for you. Which ones are going to align you with your pathway of service? Which ones are going to support you in your quest for knowledge, your quest for spiritual truth? So it can be a very, very exciting time, but a time where we do have to really, you know, work at our relationships as well, because this can also highlight where we are, you know, out of alignment with ourselves. You know, maybe we are people pleasing or seeking approval outside of ourselves, which is taking us away from our own center. So everything to do with relationships is under the magnifying glass for the next 13 months, Gemini, which is exciting, revealing and illuminating. So Uranus is shifting signs again as well on the 6th of November. So we know that Uranus moved into Taurus in May this year, and he entered your 12th house, calling you to release yourself from old subconscious stagnant patterning that was limiting your ability to be truly mentally, emotionally and spiritually free. And he, you know, he's been there for a few months, and now he's going to backtrack into Aries, where he was from 2011 until early this year. And that is your, Aries is your 11th house, Gemini. So this is where he dips back in to this 11th house, which is very much connected with individual purpose. And it's very connected with groups, with friendships, with circles, online and in-person communities, you know, the web in general. And Uranus in Aries is calling us all to be our original, unique, authentic self. So if there are some you know, if in these areas of your life you're not feeling truly free to be yourself, then this is the time where we can kind of clear up those last few threads of discontent before he moves back into Taurus in spring 2019. So you might find that these areas of your life become a little bit intensified and electrified again over the coming months. But just remember, if it's not in alignment with who you wish to become, then it's time to let it go. Free yourself, Gemini. Free yourself from those old visions, those old networks, those old communication, those old circles and communities that are not really resonant with you anymore. So we also have the nodes changing signs, like I said at the beginning of the video, and this is a once in 18 month occurrence. Since May 2017, the nodes have been on the Aquarius-Leo axis. So they have been highlighting for all of us the need to break free of old programming, the need to liberate ourselves from the past, from the group mind, from the hive mind, and come into our unique individual expression of self. So we've had a bit of a theme going on here with these fiery energies. And for you personally, Gemini, the nodes in Leo and Aquarius have been moving through your 9th and 3rd houses. So you have been really letting go of old spiritual truths, old belief systems that no longer serve you, and coming into learning how to really express yourself. The 3rd house, where the Leo North Node has been, your point of evolution over the past 18 months, has been the house that you naturally rule over, the 3rd house. So you've been really learning how to speak your needs, speak your desires, and share your gifts and talents with the world, you know, perhaps through writing or speaking, which are, of course, Gemini activities, socializing, connecting with others. So as the nodes move backwards into the Cancer Capricorn axis for the first time since 2000, 2001, your point of evolution changes. So the North Node, wherever it's transiting in the birth chart, represents your pathway forward at this time, and the sign that it's in indicates our collective evolution at this time. So we are all collectively moving into Cancer, the sign of the Great Mother, into nurturing, into emotional connection, into valuing the family, valuing the home life, and letting go of the negative Capricorn energies of, you know, business above all, or making money above personal connection, work above family. And the node will slip into your 2nd house on the 6th of November, Gemini. And this is the house of Taurus. And both Taurus and Cancer like familiarity, they like comfort. And this can be a time when you are feeling more geared towards creating more security for yourself, to creating more love, more intimate connection in your life. It can also be a time when you are feeling the need to create more financial resources and security for yourself. It can be a time when you are really laying your foundations into the fertile earth, you know, really sinking yourself in and rooting yourself into your life and what you wish to bring into the physical reality over the coming 18 months. And it can be a time when you are feeling more drawn into the pleasures of earthly life. Taurus, the 2nd house, all about the senses, you know, what I can see, hear, touch, taste, smell, you know, coming into being really embodied in yourself, really giving yourself permission to enjoy life. The South Node in Capricorn is going to be joining Saturn and Pluto in your 8th house, the Scorpio house of the birth chart. So this is, you know, amplifying the energies that you have already been working with, that we've talked about before with Saturn in this 8th house. It's a very intense transit. It's a real mastery of the cycles of death and rebirth. It's a real time of, when Saturn transits the 8th house, it's a real time of learning how to let go, how to surrender, how to do the deep dive into your fears and move through them. So with the node coming into this space as well, it can be this, you know, release of our fears around security, our fears around money, our fears around intimacy. The 2nd, 8th house polarity can have very much to do as well with sacred sexuality, with intimacy and with relationship. So we might feel like we're letting go of old fears in these areas so we can move forward into more secure and comfortable and emotionally deep relationships as well. So there's a whole emphasis on relationship going on for you for this 13 and 18 month cycle, Gemini. And the more that you can become embodied, the more that you can come down from your head and into your heart, the easier this journey will be, and the more you will be able to get to know yourself through the mirror of your relationships, through the mirror of your connection with others, through the mirror of your lovers, your family, your friends. All of the houses that are being lit up really this month are connected with friendships, with romance, with family, and our ancestral roots and our ancestral lineages as well. So with the Cancer Capricorn energies. So there's a big focus on that for you that will unfold as we move through 2019, because of course Mercury is going to go retrograde in the 7th house as well for you during November, and up until, you know, he's not going to station direct till the 2nd of December, and he's not going to leave his retrograde shadow until the 21st of December, till the winter solstice. And as your ruler, of course, his movements have a profound impact on you. So he's going to be moving through that 7th house. So he's going to be churning up and making you very aware of the issues that you'll be working with Jupiter over the 13-month cycle. Very aware of the entrenched belief systems, the belief patterns that you will be needing to weed out in order to come into those harmonious relationships, in order to attract those opportunities and those people into your life. So it's an interesting one for you, Gemini, because, you know, you are the sign of many truths. You know, your gift is to really see the other perspective of every situation. You are the twins, you know, you're always looking for a different angle, a different way of viewing the world. But Sagittarius is very much focused on one truth. You know, Sagittarius is very much fixated on what it believes to be true. So you may find that you are brushing up against this in other people during this period, and, you know, it's important that you stay centered in what is true for you. And perhaps this is a good time for really cultivating that as well, instead of flitting from idea to idea. You know, really committing to something could be a beneficial thing for you to do during this phase. So I'm going to pick a card for you, Sagittarius. Gemini even, you're not Sagittarius. Sagittarius is your opposite sign. And these cards are from the Sacred Rebels deck by Alana Fairchild. And I've chosen these because these are really good for, you know, giving us indication of how we can best evolve on our journey at this time, as we all shift our evolutionary focus with the node moving into Cancer and Jupiter changing as well. So let's pick a card for you, Gemini. Legacy of Light. And that's really interesting. That's all very Cancer Capricorn, you know. It's all about the legacy that we leave behind for future generations. So this can be asking you to look at how your decisions and choices impact the world at large, you know, how you are contributing to the evolution of society as a whole. And it can also be asking you to look at the belief systems and patterns that have been passed down through your ancestral lineage and how they are impacting you in the now. So, you know, you could really be looking at those family connections this month and really thinking about how those old karmic patterns are playing out in your life, you know, especially with Uranus moving as well from the 12th house. It can make you extra aware of where your subconscious is repeating and replaying old stuff. But this card is also a card of empowerment, and it's a card that says to you that your ancestors are with you, they're helping you, they're supporting you, and listen to them, you know, listen to the wisdom that's coming down through your higher self, through other people, you know, and perhaps Jupiter in your 7th house will also open you up to receive new knowledge and new information from people entering your life too. So legacy of light. So think about what you are leaving behind. You know, what is your legacy, Gemini? What do you wish to be remembered for? It's a morbid thought, but perhaps, you know, with the 8th house energies you've got going on, it's something to contemplate. Thank you so much for listening to me. If you wish to connect with me further, you can check the links below for my Facebook pages and groups. I'm sending you so much love for an exciting and transformational November.